Dear all, I am Keval Malde from Mumbai and I am teaching mathematics since last 4 years. And the topic which we are going to discuss today is nothing but DUIS, that is nothing but differentiation under integration sign. Now there are certain examples which you can directly find the integrals of. Let us say integration e raised to ax dx. All of us knows that integration of this is nothing but e raised to ax whole upon a plus c, right? However, if suppose I am giving you a formula of u into v, integration of u into v dx, where u and v both of them are function of x, we know that this integration is nothing but u integral v dx minus integration of du by dx into integration v dx whole dx, right? Now if suppose I am having the limits a to b, then this is nothing but first I will find what is the solution of this, then finally I will put the limits a to b. Okay. Now generally we, out of this u and v, we consider u such that it is degrading term. Since in derivative the power reduces, somehow after some finite number of derivatives this u term will vanish. Hence we can use this formula integration u into v dx. However, there are certain examples where this rule is not applicable. For example, let me take integration 0 to 1 x raised to alpha minus 1 upon log x into dx. Now if you see 1 upon log x is also not vanishing term. Again x raised to alpha is also non-vanishing term. Hence we cannot select any of this as u. No, even if we apply u into v rule, this will go on proceeding, it will not converge. So for this reason what we will do is we will apply the concept of DUIS, that is nothing but differentiation under integration sign. Now for this there are certain concerns, like for example I must be able to write this integration as I of alpha, where alpha is some parameter and x is the variable with respect to which we are about to compute our integration. Now let me give you the steps how we'll proceed for integration using DUIS. The step 1. First thing is find the parameter. Find the parameter alpha. Find parameter alpha such that both the limits does not contain this parameter alpha. Fine. Step 2. Differentiate both sides with respect to alpha. Now to understand this, let me take a generalized form. Let me consider integration I of alpha as integration a to b f of x comma a dx. So let me explain you each and every term. Over here we are having in general integration with lower limit a, upper limit b. The function over here is a function of two variables, one is x, another is parameter alpha, or you can say a. Fine. So it is alpha. Then dx as it is. So over here I am writing I is function of alpha. Fine. So now what I will do is I can rewrite this as alpha plus delta alpha. You have studied this in first principle or principle using derivatives. So this can be written as a to b f of x comma alpha plus delta alpha dx. Right? Now all of us know that derivative di of alpha with respect to alpha is nothing but I of alpha plus delta alpha minus I of alpha the whole upon delta alpha. Right? Now let me substitute value of this two quantity from this. So what I will get is integration a to b f of x comma alpha plus delta alpha dx minus integration a to b f of x comma alpha dx the whole upon delta alpha. Right? Now we know that integration f of x dx minus integration g of x dx is nothing but integration f of x, over here it is f of x comma delta plus alpha plus delta alpha minus g of x, that is nothing but f of x comma alpha dx the whole upon delta alpha. Now since delta alpha is constant, what you can do is instead of taking whole upon, you can take this only upon this function. Right? So overall you can write this as integration a to b d by d alpha of f of x comma alpha dx. So this is nothing but derivative or differentiation under integration sign. Hence the topic name is DUIS. So our second step is to find derivative of the function f of x comma alpha with respect to alpha. So differentiate both sides with respect to alpha. Now step 3. Step 3 is compute this integration. Compute integration with limits a to b f d by d alpha of f of x comma alpha d alpha, dx. Fine. Once you have computed what is the value of this integration, so finally over here you have, this is nothing but d I of alpha upon d alpha. So step 4, that is final step, will be compute integration with respect to alpha. It is integrate this both sides with respect to alpha and you will get your final answer. Now to understand this concept, let me consider this example. To understand all the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4, let me solve this particular example. So I hope you are clear with this concept and you know what are basic principles of derivatives and limits. Fine. So let me consider this example. So my step 1 is to identify the function containing the parameter alpha. So my I of alpha is integration 0 to 1 x raised to alpha minus 1 whole upon log x dx. Over here I can clearly see both the limits are independent of this parameter alpha. So what we'll do is we'll differentiate both sides with respect to alpha. So differentiate both sides with respect to alpha. So what you will get is d by d alpha of I of alpha, which is integration 0 to 1. Now you know that if I am differentiating with respect to alpha, 1 upon log x is constant. So I can write it as it is, 1 upon log x. And we know that d by dx of a raised to x is nothing but a raised to x log x. Log a raised to x log a. Hence for this it will be x raised to alpha log x, and derivative of constant is 0. So clearly this and this gets cancelled. Finally you are writing dx. Hence this is nothing but integration 0 to 1 x raised to alpha dx. Okay, so x raised to alpha dx. So now you want to integrate this with respect to x. So we know another formula, that integration x raised to n dx is nothing but x raised to n plus 1 whole upon n plus 1. And if you have the limits a to b, so over here put the limits a to b. So applying the same concept, this will be x raised to alpha plus 1 whole upon alpha plus 1. Since over here limits are 0 to 1, I will take limits 0 to 1. Now if I am putting x is equal to 1, I will get 1 upon, since 1 raised to anything is 1, so this will be 1 upon alpha plus 1 minus, if x is 0, this term will become 0. Hence what I have is, I am having 1 upon alpha plus 1. So over here I am done with step 3. So now finally integrate both sides with respect to alpha. This will be our final step. Hence what I will get over here is, I will get again back my I of alpha. So over here what I will get is integration 1 upon alpha plus 1 d alpha. Okay, and we know that integration of 1 upon x plus a d